Okay, we are going to start on 10.5, which is finding the volume. So up to this point, we've done surface area, which is what could wrap around an object. Now we're doing volume, which is what can be found within it. So the volume is always going to be cubed because we're actually taking 3 measurements each time and multiplying them out. So the volume is always cubed. I'll go ahead and write that out. Always cubed. Okay, so when we do this, the simple formula is the base area times the height. In this case, a rectangular prism, the easiest way to do it, we're looking at the surface area or the area of the base. The area of the base is 12 times 8 in this case, which is 96. And then our height is the distance between the two bases. So a rectangular prism, really all you're doing is you're multiplying the 3 measurements out. So we're saying 12 times 8 times 2. In this case, our base area is 96 and our height is 2 because that's the distance between the two bases. So 96 times 2 is going to be 192. And our label was inches. So in this case, it's inches cubed. Just like where the surface area is always squared, with a volume, it is always cubed. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one. Here is a triangular prism. So today, again, we're only working with prisms and cylinders. Triangular prism. So we want to look at the base first. The base is this 3 times 4, and the base is a triangle because this is a triangular prism. The base area is what we need to work with first. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height. So 1/2 of the 2 measurements that create the right angle. So 1/2 times 4 is 2, times 3 is 6, or I could have done 4 times 3 is 12, and half of that is 6. So my base area is 6. My height is always the distance between those two bases. So if my base is a triangle, my height is the distance between the 2 triangles. So that's the 10 here. Volume equals 6 times 10, which is going to be 60. And my label was meters, so it's 60 meters cubed. That is volume for prisms. All right, let's go ahead and look at the volume of a cylinder. A cylinder is very, very similar to a prism. The only difference is our bases are circles now. So our volume is still going to be the base area times the height. In this case, our base, since it happens to be a circle, in order to find the area of a circle, it's pi r squared, and then our height, okay? So in this case, we have our radius. Our radius is 3 centimeters. So I have that 3 squared. Our height is the 9 centimeters because that is the distance between the two bases. We're always going to use that as our ability to find the height, the distance between the two bases. And then we'll throw this pi in here. So I actually have 9 times 9, which is 81 pi. 81 pi. So we still need to multiply that out now. So 81 times 3.14 is going to give me 254.34. Now, this is because we squared something right here and then we multiplied something out. That again shows us that our volume, our label is always going to be cubed. So we have 254.34. It does again say to round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to look at this number and the number after it. That number is less than 5, so I'm going to keep it at 254.3. My label was centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. So our volume of this cylinder is 254.3 centimeters cubed. All right, let's say that I have something like this. I have a cylinder, it's laying on its side. Remember, for a cylinder, your base is still always that circle. And it gives me 4 inches, but it gives me that as the full distance across. That means my diameter equals 4 inches. So I still have to divide by 2 in order to find the radius, because the radius is what I need for the volume of a cylinder. So base area times height, which is pi r squared times the height. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. Pi, our r now is 2 inches, so that's 2 squared. And the height is always the distance between the two bases. So in this case, it's 10. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 10. And then I still have this pi there. So now I have 40 pi. 40 times 3.14 is going to give me 125.6. All of my directions are telling me to round it to the nearest tenth. This is already rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, we're not rounding to a whole number, so we got to follow the directions. Our answer here, the label should be inches, and it is volume, so it's inches cubed. So you've now seen all of the volume of cylinders and volume of prisms. Your assignment is going to be 10.5, which is on pages 593. And we're actually just going to do problems on page 593, and you're going to do numbers 3 through 23 all. All right, good luck.